Listen, I don't know what is going on with David Hogg. No, seriously, I don't know what's going on. Um, the last I saw, he was creating a pack to go after ineffective Democrats who've been sitting in their positions for years and haven't really been doing anything for the people. That's the last I saw, and I'm all for that. It's time that we got rid of some ineffective Democrats. But the past few days, folks have been laying into David Hogg's ass. I don't know why. I saw a couple of videos from Too Raw, Too Real, and I'm like, If Too Raw, Too Real is getting in David Hogg's ass, David Hogg is on the wrong side of whatever is going on. And then today, I see this.
I just came back from the gym. A lot has happened today, and if you know me at all, you know I needed to go for a run. But that being said, I'm coming to talk to you, unfortunately, not about Republicans cutting Medicare and Medicaid or trying to cut SNAP benefits, which we should be focusing on. Instead, I'm coming to you to talk about inter-party Democratic nonsense. So, long story short, 100 days ago today, ironically, I was elected as one of the vice chairs of the Democratic Party. You needed 201.5 votes to be elected. I got 289 votes. David Hogg, who is another vice chair, got 214 votes, I think it was. 214.5 votes. And every article that has been written so far about what's going on has completely incorrectly, with David's support, made this story about the Democratic Party getting David. He even sent out an op-ed saying, this is the first step of the Democratic Party pushing me out. That rubs me the wrong way. Not just because I got way more votes than him, and I also am finding myself in this position of having to go through another election, which was hard and grueling on my team and on my family. But I want people to understand, I have been to 8 states in 100 days. I have traveled almost 20,000 miles. I've done call time. I've attended fundraisers. I've done the hard and unglamorous work of trying to build this party and rebuild this party in a moment where we really need to fucking change what we're doing in the way that we're approaching voters. And yet, we have spent now weeks talking about one person, not about what the party needs to do, but talking about one person. And now, as this new thing has happened, the press is rushing to take David's word for it, that this is yet another way that people are trying to get him. David knows that's bullshit. This challenge was submitted weeks before David ever announced what he was doing with Leaders We Deserve. Weeks before. And I refuse to sit here and allow the press to continue to push this narrative as if I'm not sitting right here, and as if I didn't get way more votes than he got, and as if I haven't been doing the work of trying to rebuild this party. So yes, this situation is in the weeds. It's complicated. And frankly, I wish we weren't talking about it. But we are talking about it. And if we're going to talk about it, we're going to at least talk about it with some honesty. We're going to at least put the receipts and the facts on the table. And so that's just what I want to say at this point. I am upset about how this went down, obviously. But I'm going to be okay. And I'll keep doing the work that I was called to do, because we need a strong Democratic Party to meet this moment. And obviously that requires us doing some introspection, but it also requires people to be honest about what's going on.
I don't know what's going on. So I go over to Google and I put in David Hogg, Vice Chair Leadership. And the first thing that comes up, it says, David Hogg's position as Vice Chair of the Democratic National Committee is currently in jeopardy due to a challenge to the validity of his election. What? Okay, and so it goes to break it down. So it says controversial plans. Hogg, a gun control activist and survivor of the Parkland school shooting, was elected DNC vice chair in February of 2025. However, his subsequent announcement of a $20 million campaign to primary challenge incumbent Democrats in safe seats sparked controversy and backlash from within the party. Okay, I was present for all of that, and I told y'all I was in support of David Hogg because we got too many Democrats that are just sitting back, coasting, and they are signing on and supporting the Republicans' nonsense. I have a problem with that. Chuck Schumer. It goes on to say DNC neutrality. The DNC traditionally remains neutral in primary elections to allow voters to choose their candidates and to maintain relationships with all potential nominees. That ain't working. It goes on to say, challenge to election. A challenge was filed against Hogg's election, alleging a violation of DNC rules concerning gender diversity among party officers. What? So they're saying that David Hogg violated one of the DNC rules concerning gender diversity among one of the party officers? That's how I'm reading it. Is that how you're hearing it? It goes on to say credentials committee votes. The DNC's credentials committee voted to void the results of Hogg's election, recommending a new election for the position. So they voted to void the results of David Hogg's election, and they are recommending a new election for his position. Why? Because of his PAC, or is it because of his violation of the DNC rules? Hogg's response, Hogg has criticized the challenge as a pretext to remove him from his position due to his plans to challenge incumbents. Okay, so David Hogg believes that them trying to get him ousted is because of his plans to challenge incumbents, and that's part of his $20 million PAC. That's what he thinks is going on. But so we're not going to talk about David Hogg. We're not going to talk about the violation of the DNC rules and you, I guess, making comments regarding gender diversity towards another party officer. What's that about? What did he say? What was the situation, y'all? Ongoing process. The full DNC membership will now vote on the Credentials Committee's recommendation. If approved, a new election for the vice chair position will be held. So is it, I'm gathering based on Kenyatta's video, that it's not just David Hogg's position, it's all of the vice chair's positions, or Kenyatta's position and David Hogg's position. I don't know what's going on, but I know there's a lot of controversy and chaos surrounding David Hogg's name, and that's problematic for me because we got stuff we need to be worrying about. We got stuff that needs to be done, and we don't have time for the toxicity that it seems is surrounding David Hogg. Y'all fill in the gaps down in the comments. I'll be watching. I'll be reading.